Anyway, let's get some names. So my name's Mikey. What's your name?
Danny.
And
Zaki.
Matt.
Dominic.
Sam.
Sam. And I'm Mikey. Come forward. Tell us your name at least. What is it?
Ken.
And
Asha.
and we've got man in the orange over here. Come closer. This is electrically tested. It's all safe. Okay, so the way this works is it's up to you to come up with a topic of conversation. Has anyone got anything they want to get the ball rolling with? Any?
What is the policy? You've got 4 months. 5 months now.
Yeah?
Yeah, are we coming later? Just talk to them.
Okay, so talk to the men. Is it a chance for us men to have like a male conversation about male things? And what would that be?
Finance.
Finance.
Yeah, I'll give you finance. He wanted
Finance and money. Is that a male thing, the money's money, a male?
Well, it's normally up to the men to handle the finance.
Okay, so that is the...
Give it to the women, they want to go
No.
shopping.
Not in
My house,
not
not
in your
in my
house.
house. It's not.
No?
No. She handles all the finances.
Okay.
I just hand it over. I think we should talk about Tommy Flowers.
Okay. So, Tom, what do you mean, Tommy? Do you mean the pub? Do you mean the person?
I mean the person. Yeah.
Okay, what do you know about Tommy Flowers?
I actually know that he was one of the first people to make the programmable computer.
Right.
That's about it.
Okay.
And
So
his name
anyone
was
know
Tommy.
anything else about Tommy Flowers?
If you get the barman involved, he
Yeah.
knows everything.
Okay.
Was born in Abbots Road, just at the top here, back
Yeah.
in 1916, I believe.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
then he lived his life in Abbots Road, working for the post office.
Right.
And then from the post office, he gained high intelligence.
Right. Okay.
He had an incredible brain on him.
Yeah. He got a scholarship. Okay, come and talk. Come. We haven't heard from the barman. We don't even know what his name is. Come forward. No one's asking for any pints at the moment.
His name's Mo Sislak.
Mo Sizak.
Yeah.
Okay, and let's get your name. What's your name?
Nick.
Nick. We have got Danny. We have got Zaki. What was it again? Matt, Dom, and Sam. Yes, and I'm Mikey. So, do you know anything about Tommy Flowers, the man?
Yeah. He won scholarships for his talent in his mechanical mind, so to speak. So he was employed by the post office to make a more efficient postal service initially.
Right.
And he won scholarships
And
at
what went wrong?
universities. Nothing.
Nothing. So it did get. It was less efficient back then.
No, it was very efficient back then. It just
Okay.
went wrong now.
Right.
So
Yeah.
he was poached by Bletchley Park in 1942, I think, something like that, to help design this machine to decipher code faster than the human eye could do. It was always checked by a person anyway, but he would run this tape through, and it would run through revolutions which would quadruple the speed that someone could read.
Okay, so that sped up the code breaking, basically.
And so he designed a semi-programmable computer called the Colossus.
Semi-programmable.
Yeah. So
Why was it?
Basically, it was you could only tell it something, and it would run with that, but it may not remember it. So,
Okay, so
semi.
it wouldn't always remember what you told it. I can relate to that. Zaki, did you know about that, about Tommy Flowers?
Well, I do know that he did have the participation in the war with the code breaking, I think. And I think he had some help maybe with Alan Turing, with the code breaking and deciphering. But
Okay, so did you guys know about it? No? Have you ever been poached?
Half an hour, 2 hours ago, I think we heard about that. So.
Right. Okay. So so it's new to you. Has anyone here ever been poached?
Yeah.
You've been poached.
Yeah, I used to be a photographic printer, and I was poached by a high-end company. Yeah. But I declined actually.
Yeah.
Because their morals were wrong.
Okay. So what was a high-end company?
Well, it was a well-known printing company called something. I can't tell you.
Yeah, you can't say. Okay. so you.
I'd rather not.
So you escaped the headhunting.
I got the headhunt. Yeah.
Yeah. Have you ever been headhunted?
Yeah, many times. I've never been poached, but I've had 4 Africans chase me. So,
okay, all right. I mean, I've never actually been poached either, actually. So it's only Nick here. And Rick, have you ever been... This is Rick, our cameraman. Have you ever been poached? You've been offered a job? Yeah, okay. And did you escape the headhunters? Can't remember. Okay. It's what, just like the Colossus computer, you forgot. Yeah.
Well, it goes. If the money's always right, go to it. So.
Yeah. Would you do it if you? You would do the job if the money was right, because Nick turned the job down because of the ethics of it.
It's money that pays the bills at the end
Right.
of the
So
day.
you think Nick maybe made a bit
if
of
a higher offer comes available, you take it.
Right. Okay. So.
A bit of cash.
Okay. I mean. So it's Matt, isn't it? Matt.
Yes.
So what do you do? And do you do it for the money or for the love of the job?
For the love,
Yeah?
obviously.
And what do you do?
So I would be a consultant for utility infrastructure.
Right.
So digging up the roads and making everyone's life a misery.
Okay. Are you responsible for all this that's going on here?
No, no, I wouldn't be. No. What outside there? No, of course not. Of course not. It would be nothing to do with me. Nothing to do with me. No, I work on pre-construction sort of stuff.
Yeah. Pre-construction.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
It means before they actually start building, all the plans need to be put in place.
Okay, so you're like a planner.
Yeah. Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Why not? Yeah, I'll be a planner.
Okay.
I'll be a planner.
But no one's ever gone, oh, you're so good at planning, we're going to offer you a
It's boring, isn't it?
double the job.
It's boring, isn't it? Digging up roads, putting in cables and gas pipes, boring. No one likes it.
Well, digging tunnels, that's boring, isn't it?
Well, it would be, yeah. Well done.
Come on. Come on.
Kids will get it.
Well, I need you on the table. You're the only one picking up the gags here. Anyway, okay, so I mean, is there a passion to it though when you get into it?
Digging holes in the street?
Yeah. Or getting other people to do it, because that's what you do, don't you? You don't.
Yes,
yeah.
Have you seen those hands?
Yeah.
I've not dug a hole for a long time.
Yeah.
But is there a passion in it? Not really. It's just a job.
Okay, so it's just a job. So.
Yes.
Okay. Well,
If you want passion,
Yeah.
you need to talk to like someone that could be like, I don't know, an architect.
An architect. Any
Architect would be quite a passionate.
Any architects?
Passionate job.
Any
Any
architects?
architects?
Any architects? Is there any architects in the house? Is there any architects in the house? Any architects? You're an architect. Okay. All right. So how do you get to be an architect? What?
A long, painful, debt-fueled experience.
Well, that's interesting because we had part of one of the suggestions was talking about finance. So, is there a lot of finance involved in architecture?
There's a lot of finance involved in getting qualified.
Yeah. Okay.
After that, the finance
Are you
drops
qualified?
off. No.
No, not yet.
No.
No.
I'm not qualified. No. Look at that.
Okay, we've got a couple of new faces to the table. We've got a couple of new faces to the table. Come and take a seat. We've got Danny, and we've got Zaki, and we have got Matt and Dom and Sam. Can I call you Dom and Sam? Because I know you said Dominic, but can I shorten it to Dom? Yeah. Okay. And I'm Mikey. Come and have a seat if you want to. Get a drink maybe first. And we've got well, we've got the people. I can't be bothered tonight. What was it? We've got Asher. What was it again? What? I can't hear you from there. Ken and Jerry over here, and we got Nick the barman. So where are we going to go with this conversation? We're going to talk about financing your career, because that's what you want to talk about at the beginning, wasn't it? What kind of career do you want to do?
Something in like the auditing section in finance.
Oh, so you want to finance a career in finance?
Yeah, but just working with other people's finances, I think that's a great way to start your career.
Why do you want to work in finance?
Because it just seemed interesting, because I'm a numbers man, that's why.
You're a numbers man, okay.
Yeah, I'm just interested in
a bit
maths.
like Tommy Flowers in a way.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyone here a numbers man?
Sam would be a numbers
Sam, are you? Yeah?
I'm an engineer, but I wouldn't say I'm a numbers man.
Okay.
Like concepts, like processes, ideas.
Yeah, you do more processes than numbers.
But I'm not like mental arithmetic, that kind
No.
of thing. It's not my bag.
You've got a calculator.
So I have a calculator, and
Yeah.
that does that. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not very good at mental arithmetic, but
Can start a fire with his own hands.
Can you?
can start with my own hands, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Please don't do it tonight.
Yeah,
Or at least until
not
I've
here.
gone.
I was doing it last night, so making
Okay.
we were cooking pancakes on a fire last night. So
Okay.
why not? Because it's a bit different.
Okay. Why are we cooking pancakes?
I'm an Explorer Scout leader. So Explorer Scouts are 14 to 18-year-olds, and I'm a leader that does that. So we went out to the woods, and they built fires, and we.
Okay, so you actually cooked the pancakes on an actual fire.
Yeah,
not...
with a frying pan, but on the fire. So they made the fires, and we cooked pancakes on the fire. So
wow, amazing.
Something a bit different.
Amazing. Okay. So where do we want to go with this? I don't know. I still feel like we've not really jumped on the big subject.
Maybe the coronavirus.
What
the coronavirus. That's the biggest.
Well, how does that? Okay, maybe we can connect that with finance. Is it going to affect the world of finance?
Well, I guess so, because Italy's on lockdown now. China's already on lockdown. We got the cruise ship, but the whole thing is just like it's corrupting the world. Honestly, with this coronavirus.
Is it? I mean, how's it going to affect your guys' work? I'll come to you in a bit later on. Okay, we've got some new faces over here. So as I said, we got Danny, we got Zaki, we have got what was it again? We got Dom and Sam and Matt. I've got to do it in that order for some reason. Who have we got over here? What's your name? Have you got coronavirus?
No, Loretta.
Loretta and
Andy.
So at the moment, there's a few subjects we're talking about. There's huge building projects that these guys are doing.
What are you doing? Gasworks, leaving mode, or?
Yeah.
Can't answer that question. Maybe, maybe not. Maybe.
Okay, you might be doing. And what if you were, say, for example, you were doing a project on the gasworks? Yeah. What would you theoretically be doing?
Digging up the roads.
Digging up the roads.
Summer.
Okay.
Are you emptying all the poison out the soil?
No, we're just going to cover it over.
Okay. All right. So.
I thought we need more lead-infested area.
Okay. So is it a bit? Is it? Oh, look. We got Ken come to the table. We got Asher. What, Asher?
I want to ask you this guy's question. Why you come and choose to our area to do with it? Why you choosing to
Why choose here? Why here? Why now?
Okay, so I don't actually choose the areas to go to. The developer does. I'm just a consultant for the infrastructure. So all of us here are just here on coincidence.
Yeah, you're just doing it for the money, basically.
Take it up with Barclays.
Okay.
Can I ask?
Yeah.
Can I ask a question now? All this redevelopment you do around the area here, what about the people that have vehicles? Unfortunately, they are pollution vehicles and things like this, but we need parking spaces. What happens?
What happens with the parking? Have you got a vehicle, Ken?
I have a vehicle.
Yeah. Are you struggling to find a parking space?
I do. My wife is invalid. I have a blue badge, or my wife has blue badge. I live in a new build over the road here, and I have no parking space within the buildings because it's for residents that have bought their property only.
Right. Okay. So if you haven't bought it,
nothing for anybody else. I try to park in the street, and there's all this new development going around, and the street is absolutely full of vehicles already.
You want to try down Kirk Michael Road around the back there?
I've seen it.
Okay. Well,
so I'm just an infrastructure consultant. So really, if you want to talk about parking, you need to talk to an architect.
Okay. Okay. What have architects?
I'm so sorry.
What have architects got to do with parking spaces? Do you have to architect a parking space?
Yes, they do.
They do they? Yeah.
No, it's on. We're on BBC too.
Yes.
Yeah, you're in the TV.
So it's not actually up to the architect to set the parking ratio
Who sets
unit.
it? Who sets it?
Tower Hamlets.
Right, the council.
So, council. So so there are. So if you are obviously from a pure sort of logistics perspective, if you have a block of flats, there's 100 apartments in a block of flats, you can't provide 100 parking spaces to that block of flats on the same linear street length as maybe 10 houses. It's just not going to work, is it? So it is set, and it's set at council level, so it's actually out of the architect's hands.
Could you design like an underground car park or something like that?
Oh, do you have a basement car park? Yes, of course, but I mean, obviously, there's only so much soil you can dig out, so it works on ratio, and the cost of digging
so it's
out.
about the money as well. What about people here that have already got cars? and they need somewhere to park the cars. You got a point there, Danny?
See, I have my own space.
You've got your own. Are you one of these people that's bought their own space?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so you're the sort of person that's stopping Ken from parking his car.
I know, but hey, when you've got privileges, you've got privileges.
Okay, so is that just how it goes? Is that what you're saying?
Well,
could you let Ken know when you're not parked there so he can
well,
park?
Ken's more than welcome to come and park in his space whenever he wants. I've got two spaces.
All right. Okay, we've got a little gift of some. What is it? Let's find out. It's some chips. Oh, we've got some chips. There we go. You see, you don't get this every day. Have some chips, guys. Thank you. Let's find out what this guy's name is.
It's Akbal.
Akbal, thanks for the chips. So at the moment we're sort of having a bit of a discussion about local development in the area. Anyone else involved in that, in developing the area locally? What about, it's just you guys. Anyone else on this side involved? No? Yeah.
Listen.
Yeah.
I don't mind. These guys, they're doing their jobs, yeah?
Yeah. They're just doing their jobs, yeah.
Their job, everybody get paid and they're doing their jobs. But when you come into the community, and you kick out the community and you want to bring in all these nice flowers and the bush flowers, you should be give the community something.
Okay.
Not kick out the community. You come to our area. You come to where we live.
Okay, well let's find out. Okay, so are you intending to kick out the community, do something with the community, involve the community in some way? I mean, obviously you're doing it already now here in Tommy Flowers, but how is that going to carry? What is the relationship with this new development and the community? Go on, Sam. You've not said much so far.
I'm just a dumb engineer, so
okay. Yeah, I mean,
I deal with pipes and wires. So,
but could you engineer a solution for the community?
Well, the idea is to not just do one thing on its own, but to integrate into the whole, environment.
So from an engineering perspective, integrating is absolutely essential.
Yeah, and so the new. Anything new is then how is it affected by what's nearby and flow, people moving from A to B and what's going to go on in not only now but 10 years time. So it's all tried to thought about in terms of what might well happen now and later.
Okay, yeah. Oh, we've got a new face over here. What's your name?
Danny.
Danny, you can come closer if you want to come and get involved in this. Get yourself a drink as well. Danny.
See, when a new planning goes ahead, you're actually getting consulted with people in the area to see what to fill out what they can do, what people would like. So people just don't come in.
Okay, so there was a consultation about this.
There's steering groups.
Yeah.
So if you're a part of a steering group, you get all pulled away.
Have you ever been part of a steering group?
Well, just now, because my block's on the agenda to come down. So.
Okay. Are you happy about that?
Yeah, of course. I've been here 31 years. I want to change.
Okay, so you want it to be... What's going to happen instead, then?
New flat. Well, house, really. Because the house I'm on now is sinking because it's old marshland. And,
it's that sinking feeling, isn't it?
It is. Well, it is when you've just decorated the place and then you've got your ceiling cracking. And I've spent a lot of money. Well, sorry, I've spent a lot of McDonald's money doing up my flat.
Okay, that could have gone on to McDonald's.
Well, royalties, royalties, Mikey, royalties.
Yeah, okay, we've got another new face at the table. What's your name?
I'm Tanya.
Tanya, welcome. We have got Zaki, we have got Matt, we have got Don, we've got Sam, we've got Danny, we've got Loretta, we've got Andy, Akbal, Danny and Ken and Asher. And I'm Mikey. Where do we want to go with this? Do we want to talk about... go on, Ken.
More singing.
Yeah. Sorry, no, it's me. I've got caught up already. It's very unprofessional. Go on there. Go.
Yeah, just about talking about redevelopment. Now, I just moved to this area from Watney Market area.
Yeah.
Now, my local alcohol establishment, they're talking about closing it down.
The pub, you mean?
Pub. Yeah. They wanted to close it down.
Yeah.
And then, fortunately or unfortunately, lovely little pub.
Yeah.
3 in the area, just a local area only. And they wanted to knock it down and build a 7-storey block of flats.
Right.
Now then.
And were they getting rid of the pub, or what was happening?
Yeah, to get rid of. Well, what they wanted to do, because we'll build a 7-storey block of flats.
Yeah.
We can put new residents in the block of flats, and we'll provide a sort of like a little wine bar or something underneath the area, underneath the establishment.
Yeah.
Now then, my thing of living round there, I live in like a council-owned property.
Yeah.
There's a drug addicts block of flats one side of it. There's a drug addicts block of flats the other side of it, of the pub this is. And council tenants, Watney Market behind it.
Yeah. Is that down by Shadwell, isn't it?
That's Shadwell.
Yeah.
Across the road, there is a ladies' establishment, like a 2-story block of houses for ladies in distress, single ladies, and they want to put a private block, 7-story private block of private-owned houses or private blocks. Flats.
And what you're saying, Ken, is that a good thing, a bad thing?
Well, that's what I'm asking. Do you think it's a good thing to put it there and knock a pub down, which the local residents use?
Okay. All right. So, what's happening to that local pub? Is this a story all over the East End? Well, yeah.
There used to be the Aberfeldy pub on the corner.
Yeah. And what happened to that, Danny?
It got knocked down due to redevelopment, which they've just built on there. But they promised in black and white there was going to be a pub to replace it.
Yeah.
It never happened.
The Aberfeldy pub,
Yeah, the Aberfeldy. So it was going to be on that corner there. If you ever just go on that corner, you'll see a new block of flats there. So it never happened. So this place become part of it after a little while.
Yeah. Okay. So there was supposed to be a pub on the corner there.
Yeah.
And it got turned into flats.
It got turned into flats.
Okay, so we're talking about a story here. And listen, guys, as we said already, you're just doing your job here. You're just an architect, some kind of utilities planner, and an engineer. So, but you've kind of stepped into this scenario where local pubs are getting knocked down and they're not getting replaced. And if they are, it's with a wine bar.
And flats.
Or brothel.
Yeah, or drug den or brothel. Yeah.
Listen, we shouldn't blame these guys. They're doing their jobs. Everybody, they're doing their jobs, yeah?
Yeah.
If you have somebody send me to me, well, I'm doing the job, they pay you jobs, it's your job. But the person we're talking is the person coming here and developing all this, that, yeah? We have a meeting now. That's what Dan is saying. I'm getting a new house. We're having a meeting now, yeah?
Yeah.
Every month in the Haka Center, yeah? We went to Monday, yeah?
Yeah.
They say you have a meeting, you have to say what you want to say. But already they make their plans.
Okay, so they decided already. So
already they decided what you're going to do. It's not these guys to blame, you know. They're doing their job. But it's a bull's going bull, and rich going some bull, but what it is, you know what I mean?
I mean, what do you think? Could it be done in a better way?
No way. Nobody can.
You don't think it could be done? What do other people think? Okay.
I mean, I don't live in the area, but I visit from time to time.
Yeah.
But it does, I mean, it's quite helpful that people do come into the community, I think, and discuss.
So you think it's a positive
I think
intervention?
it's potentially positive, but there needs to be some kind of feedback in terms of what, because modern communities, quite a lot of modern communities don't have a community hub.
Yeah.
Pubs always used to be that.
Yeah.
Now, I guess, you know, a wine bar could also be that, but it kind of doesn't have the same vibe.
Okay, so could there be more of a focus on some kind of community hub, and what would it be? I'm just going to try and spread this out to some people that haven't said anything yet, such as Tanya.
Yeah, so, you know, because we're talking about wine bars against pubs, but that is like already you've got so many of people that you're excluding from that community already. You know, if you have people that don't drink, if people are minors, whatever. So it's not necessarily that the pub is, you know, obviously you like it, but there might be a very high
so not everybody comes to the pub.
Not
is basically
everybody
the
comes
point.
to the pub, and not everybody might feel that this is doing the justice for their community.
Okay, so maybe there needs to be a different thing rather than a pub. I mean, anyone else got any views on that? But what do people think? Is the pub the right place to be a community hub? Could it be something else? Saki, have you got any views on?
I guess the pub is a great place to socialise. You know, you got them areas. I think we should have one or two of them. So
okay, so do you think actually more pubs? Okay, anything on this side, Danny? You're not saying anything yet. Have you got no views at this point? Loretta, no.
public spaces, community spaces where people can gather, and where you can have like sporting events or similar, or even just viewing sporting events. I know that in Woolwich, they've got a square. Used to be really horrible. But now they've got a huge, great screen up there.
Right.
And they do kind of show, large sporting events and things, and people just gather and drink and eat and hopefully socialise.
In the actual square itself?
Yeah.
Okay, so some ideas. It's probably come too late, and we've lost the architects anyway now. But is there any plans on? I mean, obviously we're not pointing the finger at you. I think it's important to say Asha mentioned it. But is there any sort of community element to this development that's going to be happening across the road?
There is a lot of community element actually for residents and associated. There's a gym going in, there's spas and all sorts going in there. So it is aimed at the local community as well.
Right. Okay.
And with I think the park opposite is also being upgraded.
Oh yeah. What's happening?
Take up. So there's potential. There's a space that's going to be built, and I'm just a guy designing the pipes and wires. But there's a space that could potentially be there for for all kinds of places to take that up. But
so that's yet to be.
It relies on somebody taking that up.
Okay, so it's actually also
being built for community to build.
So it's also up to the community to actually take over that space and actually come up with ideas.
Could develop.
Okay, so what ideas and plans have we got?
There ain't enough of. There ain't enough of cigar shops.
I'll come to. All right, let's get a final thought from you first.
I've been everywhere to try and get some cigars.
Yeah.
And I cannot find a cigar, a decent one.
Right. What have you got? A favourite type of cigar?
Yeah.
What is that?
Henry Winkman.
Okay, so is there
a Cuban.
Yeah. Okay. Or a Cuban. Yeah.
From one to the other.
Yeah.
From a Henry Winkleman to a Cuban.
When I'm on a working class night, and a Cuban when I'm on a posh
Isn't
night.
Cuban working? Cuban's working.
On a proper night. When I'm or when I'm in the pub doing the Cuban.
I mean, isn't Cuban working class? Haven't they had the working class revolution in Cuba?
Well, if you've got the money for it.
All right.
Depends.
All right. Anyway, so these guys are off. So let's just get a final thought from this side of the table. Thanks for joining in. Thanks for getting involved. Any final thoughts?
Just respect each other, look after each other, and be kind to each other.
Okay.
And that's about it. And good night.
Dominic, final thought?
On.
And wherever you're thinking, basically.
That was a lovely summary from Matt, so I like that. There you go.
Yeah, I mean, has this been helpful in terms of architecting this project?
Yeah.
No, not at all.
No, that's all right. I responded to her. Question.
No, he's not.
No.
Okay. Well, anyway, if you've got any questions next time, come back next last Thursday of every month. We're here, so if you want to ask the community anything, like what we should put in this empty community space that Sam talked about, maybe apparently according to Sam, should it be a cigar shop? Should it be a gym? Should it be a pub? Okay, Sam, final thought.
Community. It's all about that, and so everything that's being designed is intended to bring everyone together. So yeah, community 100% makes anything a success. So bringing people together. That's what everyone's trying to do.
All you need is a Hemister cupboard in your apartment, and you can have all the cigars you want.
So, okay.
There's all these silly vape shops, right? You've got to sit.
Are you a cigar smoker as well?
No, but my stepdad is, and he's got one of those.
Yeah.
Bloody hell, Ball.
Can you not buy them?
Canary Wolf.
Can you not buy them on the internet?
Yeah, but I don't trust them on the internet.
Okay. All right. Okay. So hang on.
Listen, guys. We just test you. You need to come back in the pub. We're not against you or anything.
Okay, so you're very welcome.
We're not against you. We just test you. You can come back anytime. We're friendly pub. Yeah, we're friendly pub. You need to come back.
I'll even rehearse.
Yeah. All right, think about next time you come.
Bye bye. In front of the mirror. Okay, so thanks guys. Let's just Where are we going to go from this? Shall we talk about what could be in that empty community space? Should it be a cigar shop? No. Should it be something else? Selling all range of Cubans. Yeah.
I think it should be an extension of this, like an amphitheatre.
So Tommy Flowers plus.
No, well.
Oh, you mean of Talkaoke? Could it be? Ken, final thought before you go.
Hey, good night, all. Thank you.
Okay. Just one thing before you go. What would you put in that empty space that could be a community space? What would you put in there? Yes.
A second Tommy Flowers.
I say Tommy Flowers Sue. Yes. I think that's a very popular suggestion. All right, where are we going to go from here? Any thoughts, comments, suggestions, ideas? Do we want to talk more about this community space? Have we got enough community here? Do we need more? Do we need more cigar shops? Any cigar smokers apart from Danny around the table? I think you're on your own there, Danny.
Listen, it's a big fish to fry, not cigarette. People thinking of where they live and they're kicking out, and some people homeless. Not blood and cigarette.
Okay, so cigarettes on the way out. Andy, you not said very much. Are you a cigar smoker?
No.
No? Are you a smoker at all?
Yes, I am.
Yeah. Are you trying to give up, or are you? No. Okay. Let's go around the table. Who's a smoker? Let's have a show of hands. Who's a smoker around the table? Okay. 1 or 2 smokers. You're a smoker?
I am.
Are you trying to give up, or are you happy?
I'd like to give up in time.
Yeah. What about cigars? Do you think you can move on to cigars?
No.
No, why not?
Just not my cup of tea.
Okay, it's not your thing. All right.
I had a patient in the other day who has given up smoking.
Yeah.
He said he read a book by a chap called Alan Carr.
Yeah.
And not the comedian Alan Carr, but another.
A different Alan Carr, yeah.
And then we got talking, and there was a thing I'd seen on YouTube. There's a comedian who'd also read an Alan Carr book on how to give up drinking, and she hasn't had a drink since she read that book.
Really?
For years and years and years. So
okay.
It's quite interesting.
Is she still funny?
Apparently she's funnier. She's making more money out of it as well.
So you're funnier sober than you are drunk?
In her case,
in this pub. The pub don't recommend give up drinking.
Okay. I mean, what do you think about giving up drinking at the bar? Don't do it. Don't give up drinking. Okay. We've got a new person at the bar. What's your name? Nick. Oh, another Nick. Nick Jr.
Oh, another Nick.
Yeah.
Everybody working here, they call Nick.
Okay.
They
We've got another new face at the table. A new old face. Let's get your name. What's your name?
Jed, I used to work here.
Yeah, I know that.
All right, okay. I'm Jed, everyone. Hello.
Okay, so we've got Jed returning. Where have you been?
To Newcastle for a few months, and then to New Zealand for 6 months.
Okay.
And I came back yesterday.
Okay, you came back yesterday from where?
New Zealand.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you only go to places that start with new?
Obviously so, yeah. I've got to spend another year in
So you could do this job. Sorry.
I'm going to spend another year in Newquay in Cornwall.
I'm not really.
I'm just making that up. But anyway, yeah. Well, so.
Okay, so just come back from New Zealand. Any insights? Anything from New Zealand we can bring here?
Yes. Actually, it's made me feel a bit more proud to be British in a way, because Britain's got more people in it. It's more diverse. And it was good to get back to London and actually be a bit pissed off by London, but that's actually liking London, because London pisses you off a bit, because there's people everywhere, you get people shouting at you, but that's what makes London what it is.
So you're happy to be back amongst the people?
I'm really happy to be there, because there's not so many people in New Zealand. They're all sort of similar, whereas in London the diversity is massive, and it's just brilliant to get back into it. I've just had it today, walking around, it's been brilliant to see.
Okay, so London's a bit more interesting than New Zealand in terms of what people are around. Anyone else been to New Zealand?
Yeah.
Come and talk about it. What do you? Okay, yeah, maybe. All right, so I don't know, where are we going to go with this? You want to talk about New Zealand? You want to talk about cigars? You want to talk about smoking? You want to talk about something completely different? Coronavirus? Zaki mentioned. You want to talk about coronavirus?
Are people concerned?
Are you concerned?
No.
No? Why?
I think the risks are fairly low. It's likely that it will peter out in a few months.
Yeah.
And I think the likelihood that Europe will be badly affected in terms of mortality is fairly low.
Okay.
I think countries like or countries like the US, and maybe some Central and South American countries, probably more so.
Why are they going to get worse affected in the UK?
I thought it spread to India, but it's not, has it?
There are differences in India, cultural differences in terms of touching and so on.
Well, you mean people don't touch each other as much?
Not in the same ways.
Right.
But in the States, you've got, and there's less interaction between classes in India.
Right.
In a way, as well.
Okay, so
people that are reasonably well off, so they are the ones that are travelling out of the country,
and they don't touch the lower.
They're servants.
No, okay.
I find the ones that are well off are the ones that are giving us this kind of coronavirus.
Okay.
The ones that can afford to travel.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Are you worried about it, Danny?
No, but today where I was working, there was a flat. And a doctor's car pulled up, a private doctor's. All of a sudden they're putting the suits on, going into the flat. I thought, fuck this, I ain't staying around here for 5 minutes any longer. I just went.
Okay, so if we all get coronavirus tonight, we know where we got it from. Okay, come and have a seat. We haven't know, as far as I know, no one's got coronavirus around the table, so come and have a seat, come and get involved in this. Obviously, New Zealand's a good place to go if you want to avoid coronavirus because it's so far away from everywhere.
In New Zealand has it?
I think there's about 4 people.
Oh, really?
When I left yesterday, it was up to 4, which is quite small. I know I don't know if it can be past the penguins or anything like that. But,
okay.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go around the table. And Saki, are you worried about coronavirus?
No, not really, because I checked the statistics and it's like.
You're a numbers guy, aren't you?
There's about 28,000 recovered and about maybe 2,800 deaths. But I think we've got under control. We've had swine flu, we've had Ebola, and we've took them down pretty easily. The plague.
Yeah. How does it compare to the plague?
A little bit. I mean, the plague requires, infestations of rats. I mean, London's probably much more.
Yeah,
at
so
risk.
we're a bit susceptible to plague. Let's bring Danny in there. Do you not say anything yet? Are you worried about coronavirus?
I'm worried that it's not killing enough people.
You'd like to see it kill more people?
Yeah.
Anyone in particular or just generally?
No, just as many people as possible.
Okay.
Is there a particular reason you want lots of people to die?
Yeah, because the world's overpopulated.
Okay, is it a solution to overpopulation, corona?
Give me a gun, I can't shoot anyone.
That's not necessarily true that the world is overpopulated.
Okay, well let's have a show of hands. Who thinks the world's overpopulated?
I think it's overpopulated by 7.7 billion people too many.
Okay, how many people are there on the planet?
7.7 billion.
So you think there shouldn't be any people at all?
No.
Not even one or two, not even yourself?
Not even me.
Really?
No, definitely not me.
You don't suffer from misinformed, do you?
Okay, anyone else? You said you think there's too many people in the world as well?
I think it is increasing a bit overpopulation, so I think it would be better for the world and for people if there's less of us here.
What would be a good number for you? Is it 0 like Danny, or is it...
No, nothing like that.
Okay, what would you say? Give us a number, just off the top of your head.
I couldn't...
Okay. Andy, how many people should there be in the world? 7.7 billion, 8 billion?
I actually agree with this gentleman.
Yeah. Okay, 0.
0.
Okay. What's a good number?
I think that the world can sustain a lot more than it has now.
Yeah.
And the population is going to decline anyway in time, because on average in most countries in the world people aren't replacing the population.
So you think it's going down by itself? We don't have to have a coronavirus or plague or anything like that?
It
or Danny going around with a shotgun?
It will reduce the population, but...
Yeah.
Give me a...
It's not going down? Okay. Oh, right, look, Danny.
Well,
hang on a second, Danny, I'll come to you in a second. I'm on the other Danny. I'm on the other... Yeah.
Well, look, why don't everyone just stay celibate for a year?
Yeah.
And then that will really put the population down.
Okay, what about, hang on a sec, Danny, look. Hello, I'm in the middle here, I'm conducting the conversation. Danny just came up with a point that everyone could stay celibate for a year. He's been like trialling this.
I've been practicing it for about 6 months.
Yeah. But is that going to be an answer? What about if we all just had like a window, a break on procreating? Would that just like ease off the pressure, Tanya?
It just seems to me that those people that do say that the world, that nobody should have any kids anymore, that we are too many, it's mostly coming from people that are very conscious that they can keep what they have. Also, just like when people say, oh, we don't want new houses to be built, it's because they grown up in a place where they liked the rural place, where they liked the open views, where they liked everything. And it's just very often that I believe that people are a bit scared that others are taking away from them.
So the ones that don't want more houses, as we just heard earlier on, to the earlier subject, are the ones who've already got houses. And the ones who don't want more people are the ones who've already got people.
Yeah, exactly. It's like I've moved out. I've moved out of London. I went to a rural place, and there are people there, maybe elderly people, who are, who have their 5-bedroom house with a, I don't know how large garden, and they don't want any development happening there. Because, they have different reasons. It's like, oh, we need to build more trees, and I'm 100% for having more trees, but then on the other hand, what do you do if there's simply more people? Are you giving up your 5-bedroom house? Or are you having like 3 or 4 families in? Are you sharing your own space? Or is that why you are so concerned that there are so many people on this planet, because we have to come closer together and share more? So that's what I find.
Okay, so those ones who don't want more people are the ones who don't want to share, don't want to actually share their space, and have already got a big house. So they don't want more houses being built. What do people think about that? Do they agree with that? Jed, you're going to say something. You've not said much yet.
No, I haven't. I understand what you mean. I think throughout history it's been people have wanted more space, and they've had the pressure to close that space imposed on them by councils, by governments, by whatever. And then when things turned into cities, everything just naturally got concentrated out of the control of people. But I think people naturally want to have space around them and would like to have a house with some sort of land around them that they can do things in. But I think what I can extrapolate from what I've just said there, I don't know. What I'm actually saying, the conclusion, I don't know.
Yeah, but what you're saying is there's all this pressure to close things off.
Society has made people be more crushed together against what naturally I think people want to feel.
But so people actually want a bit of space when it comes down to it.
Yeah, and John, on the larger point about overpopulation of the world, I think the world, the big question there is that the world, if you spread people around, the world could take 7.7 billion people, but the fact is they're all concentrated in urban areas and cities.
Right. Okay.
And the issue is whether those people could be spread around, and what the environmental effects would be happening if you spread people around into other areas and countries where people don't live, because you'd have to chop down trees, and you'd have to destroy all that sort of stuff. So I think it's just.
Okay. So what you're saying, environmentally, it's better to just have all the people in the one place?
Yes.
You say yes.
Yeah, because you require less infrastructure.
Right.
If you space everybody in the UK out, we'd have lots of land each.
Yeah.
But you would then need to supply a road to every single house. You'd have to supply other infrastructure, electricity, sewage, water.
And we've lost the infrastructure people as well now. When we're having a conversation about infrastructure, where have they gone?
This is why they're building lots of flats.
Yeah.
Because it's cheaper to build lots of flats
in one
location as opposed to spread them out. I mean, groundworks, which is the bottom bit of the building, is the most expensive part of any building.
Is it?
Regardless of how tall it is.
Really? Oh, I didn't know that.
You've got the skeleton into it. Goes from the pipe into the wire and
all that stuff. Yeah. Okay. So, all right. So, what do you think about that? Is it just that it's the people that have already kind of got established, that have already kind of got their space, that don't want their space to be invaded, don't want extra building, extra people? What do you think about that, Danny, as a conjecture?
I don't know.
Why do you want there not to be so many people around?
Because I think that that humans haven't really... this 4 billion year social experiment has, to me, in my opinion, really not done very much good.
So humans are not doing any good. Is that what you're saying?
No. I mean, what have we done? 4 billion years, and like what? It's just rubbish.
Okay, so hang on a second. Come to Jed. Yeah.
When it's humans against nature, humans always destroy. But what humans have done that's worthwhile are things that are worthwhile to humans. But whether they objectively are worthwhile things,
what do you think the most worthwhile
for the world generally? That's a moot point.
What do you think the most worthwhile things humans have done?
Well, it always goes to the old cliches: literature, art, civilization, culture, all those sort of things. Things that are particularly human but are really good, as opposed to the law of nature, which nature works. Nature's great, but nature does kill itself and eat itself, and it has a law of the jungle. But even though it's beautiful how it works, humans are capable of things that are. We created the concept of morals. We're capable of things that are morally above that.
Right.
But not everything we do is morally above that.
I think that's not really true, because there are loads of studies as well that you do have some sort of moral codex within certain apes as well.
Animals have moral aspects.
So animals have morals too. Okay.
Yes.
When I'm just, when you think of nature, so I think, all of the species, like every single species, much more than the humans, it's just like they're trying to survive and spread and just like overcome all of their enemies and all of whatever. And I think if you see it from that point, the human has done brilliantly, because obviously we are destroying the planet how we go along, but we also do a lot for our species. And
so you think we've done quite well as a species?
Well, we've invented the wheel, we've invented technology, we are the only species in the world that is able to communicate on a large scale. Well, maybe you have trees that apparently can communicate with roots, and you've got fungi that can communicate with roots as well, but in a very in a sophisticated way. So we can do a lot, and I think it's also part of the humans that we are probably one of the very few species that do have something like self-doubt and just and so it's like.
So in a way, this kind of like quizzing of what we, whether we should be around or not, is actually something to celebrate. This kind of question of, are we actually worthwhile as a species? Are we doing any good? Is part of our. Of our evolution, of our growth, in that sense.
I don't think an elephant would be, would be that bothered. They've just got a duty to do. They need their calves to be fed or protected, and that's what they do. Yeah. And I think this is where maybe humans are that other bit even further, or whatever, that they do have a lot of problems like. I don't know, like depression, like self-doubt, like whatever. So that is not necessarily the same for others.
So by the fact you're saying you want us all to be gone, you're actually just making an argument for us to be around, because we're so great that we can actually have this level of self-doubt.
Yeah, but you never see the dolphin try and hold a concert aid first, do you?
Try to what?
The dolphins. You never see them trying to hold an aid concert first.
What?
An aid. No, like live aid.
Would the dolphins ever do a benefit gig for humans?
Hold on, we don't know if they are.
They might be, yeah.
They may well be doing this.
They might be, but
they may be.
They're like save the humans, save the humans.
Well, this was the thing. This was what Hitchhiker's Guide was about, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Mice and dolphins.
Are the dolphins actually? Are they actually worried about humans? Are the dolphins? Are the dolphins actually worried about humans? Margot, just get it on my tab. Why don't we? You spent the last 10 minutes trying to get a drink. Come and sit down, get involved in the conversation, and I will shout it for you later on. Anyway, not that I've got any cash, but anyway, I've got credit here. This is a great thing. Anyway, right. So where are we? We're talking about dolphins. Do the dolphins care about us? Are they,
Well, in the next intelligent species, apart from apes, really. So.
Do you feel that dolphins care about you?
Not really.
No.
No, I don't think. I think they've got. We're the only species that has the word nature, and by inventing the word nature, you separate yourself from the world.
Okay.
You've created this concept of us and them.
By naming nature, you're actually coming out of nature.
Yeah, and we're the only species that does that. But that's brilliant, but also destructive. And that's our history.
Again, we don't know this because we don't communicate with the other species.
So we can't speak dolphin.
So, cephalopods are incredibly intelligent.
Actually, funnily enough, we're doing a Talkaoke tomorrow at Natural History Museum where we're going to have not a cephalopod, but a cetacean expert on whales, dolphins, and porpoises. I don't know what the purpose of it is, but tomorrow there's going to be loads of porpoise gags when we do Talkaoke at the Natural History Museum, and we're talking porpoise.
Perhaps the animal kingdom have got their own way of communicating with each other, but they just don't want us to know.
Okay.
Because they despise us.
Okay, do dolphins have that much disdain for us that they don't want us to know dolphin? You don't think so?
No, I don't. I mean, I think with animal communication, birds and mammals and dolphins, things like that, they have a language. When whales sing and when dolphins click and when birds sing, they understand what it is, but it's nowhere near as sophisticated as human language.
How do you know?
Because the noises that they make birds. When a bird sings, it's only got a limited amount of phonemes in it. We've got millions of different and facial expressions and body language and all of those aspects on top.
Dolphins don't have a big range of facial expressions. Oh, we've got a new face at the table. What's your name?
Margot.
Okay, we've got Danny, we've got Loretta, we've got Andy, we've got Akbar, we've got other Danny, we've got Jed, we've got Tanya and Zaki and Mikey. At the moment we're talking about, do dolphins care about us? Would they ever hold a benefit gig for humans? In the way that we kind of describe nature, does that mean that we are separating ourselves from nature and therefore better than nature but more destructive at the same time? That's what we're talking about at the moment. That's where we are, really.
I was just wondering whether dolphins have different accents, because I've been listening to a lot of stuff on accents and
so
how
do they have regional
how
accents?
they do. Yeah, whether they have regional accents, because in human speech, as I'm sure everybody knows, everybody's got a different accent, but that denotes what your place in society is, supposedly, and I find that fascinating and also crushing at the same time.
Okay, so talking about accents, do dolphins have accents?
Definitely animals do. Cats have different accents, apparently. Cats have accents.
Really?
I know that. And
cats. What?
Well, I've, as I say, getting back on New Zealand, I mean, they've got chaffinches in New Zealand as they were imported 150 years ago. They're indigenous European species, and they make this particular call.
Do they sound a bit more like Kiwis?
And it sounds, it doesn't sound, it hasn't got a New Zealand accent, but the noise a chaffinch makes in New Zealand is different. It's the same noise, but it's different from the noise a chaffinch makes in Britain.
Okay, so
it's got a slightly different sound to it.
So animals have accents too, and Jed's been all the way around to the other side of the world to discover this. Any other cats maybe have accents? I don't know how. Cows?
Yeah. A Scottish cow and a Cornish cow, completely different.
We'll go. How does a Scottish cow go?
Oh, I moo.
Yeah.
A Cornish cow goes moar.
Okay, so there we go. So it's been proved that animals have accents. There you go. That's answered your question.
I think it's quite hard to dispute this kind of proof. So
yeah.
I'm just gonna
Is it a quack theory, though? That's the question. So the jokes are not really settling tonight. I don't know why. I don't know what's going on. But anyway, so where are we going to go with this? So we've discovered that. Oh, look, Rick's doing a photo through the window. We should all wave just to really annoy him. Hello. So where are we going to go with this conversation? Do we want to talk about
Why do we get accents?
Why?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we asked the vaguely medical person, why do we have accents?
I have no idea. I'm not a speech therapist.
Anyone else know why do we have accents? Yeah.
I don't know why we have it, but I distinctly know about the received pronunciation, like the kind of
What's
BBC
received pronunciation?
It's the BBC English, and I thought that always existed, but it hasn't always existed. It was invented. I didn't know
By
that.
who?
But it was
By
it was
the
kind
BBC?
of BBC kind of adapted it because they thought, well, that's the best, because it's going to be quite clear. And then also because of the Cold War, Americans and British, they didn't get on, and therefore majority of films, if not all of them, in America made around that time, they feature a bad guy who would always speak with a clipped English accent.
Right.
But that accent, I didn't know this, but apparently that accent is to kind of cover up where you are actually from, to really up.
Okay, so the BBC accent is about covering up where you're from.
Yeah, kind of like supposedly natural. I don't know.
Hang on, from the bar, get the microphone. That's what. Otherwise, my role becomes useless. Oh.
Janet Street Porter was important in breaking the stereotypical BBC English because she spoke as she wanted to. So therefore, we have different accents and dialects as newsreaders.
So what you're saying is probably the younger people around the table won't know this. Before Janet Street Porter, was there no regional accents on television?
She's someone who pushed it. She's like, I'm going to talk and I fucking want to talk. So
really? Did she swear as well?
Oh yeah, she did. Yeah, quite a lot. But anyway,
she's a pioneer of okay. I'll have that back now. Thank you very much for that. Yeah.
Didn't Lord Haw speak with that accent as well?
Who's Lord Haw?
He used to be he was a Nazi propagandist.
Right.
He'd be broadcasting radio propaganda from Germany.
Right. Okay. And he had
to the UK.
And he had a posh accent?
Yeah, it seemed very much an RP type of accent.
He was. Well, he was aristocratic. I think Lord Ho-Ho. I think he was part of the aristocracy. I don't know. Yeah. I mean, the accents in Britain are basically explain the history of Britain. Why people from Birmingham and Newcastle and London speak that way is because of the influx of people over the past 1,500 years.
Right.
Why I speak with my accent is because of the Scandinavian influence. From? Newcastle.
No way.
Oh, really? You get that, do you?
Yeah.
But my accent is because of the Scandinavian influence, because geographically we're closer to Norway. And the Queen's English is apparently because of the Battle of Hastings and the Normans that came in and the French, and that's where the posh English accent came from 1,000 years. And Birmingham is because of Vikings coming in from Ireland over that way. The Birmingham accent,
Irish
they're all
Vikings.
from that. But England's really and Britain's really concentrated for that. I don't know how other countries have got
you just come
accents
from
like
New
that.
Zealand. Is there a difference in accent between one part and another?
Well, the Australian accent apparently is developed from Cockney.
No way. You're having a bubble.
The Australian New Zealand accent. It's developed. Well, that's where it comes from. It comes from Cockney.
No worries.
I mean, that's what I was.
Apples and pears, mate.
Well, they don't have apples and pears in Australia. They all live in bungalows.
The bungalows, mate.
Anyway, Asha, you got a point there at the back.
It's an accent where you come from, where your motherhood, where's your country is. Everybody's got accent.
Where is your accent from?
I never ever think about the accent until a woman says to me, I like your accent. And I say, what accent are you talking about?
So you don't have an accent?
I have. Everybody, where they come from.
Yeah.
Where they come from, where's you come from.
So you can't, in a way, you have to come from somewhere, so you have to have an accent from somewhere.
Yeah, but I didn't know I have an accent until somebody say to me.
So it's more what other people project onto you.
They're thinking, but you're not thinking about yourself, you have an accent.
Yeah.
But until some woman say to me, I like your accent. I said, what accent you talking about?
What are you talking about? Yeah. That's people say that to me as
That's
well.
the way you come from.
But weirdly, you know what the thing with my accent's appreciated much more out of Britain than it is in Britain. In Britain, people listen to me and they just think, yeah. But if you go to Australia or Canada or America, they love the accent. So that, I mean, yeah.
So how far will my voice travel in Australia then?
Oh, you go a long way.
But we can tell with accents. You can tell if someone's from South London, North London, West London, Essex.
How do South Londoners talk then?
A bit softer.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Look at Nick.
Anyone from south of the river here? Yeah?
But I don't think my accent is representative of South London.
Oh, is it not?
Apparently British accents change within like 25-mile radius. There's always like a slight shift, and they kind of calculated, about this. So yeah, I mean, this is all like new to me, so I'm quite fascinated.
Why is it new to you?
I'm sorry?
Why is it new to you?
Why is it new? I don't think because I've learned about it back in the day, but now I'm just learning it because I'm trying to do a workshop on accents.
Oh, you're doing okay.
So this is like a bit of a research.
Yeah. Every 20 miles it changes. What is 20 miles away from Newcastle?
No, but I can tell the difference. I mean, it means nothing to people here, but I can tell the difference between someone from Newcastle and Sunderland by the accent.
Right.
And that's only 15 miles. There's a completely marked difference to me.
Okay.
But to here, I can't tell the difference from someone from Reading or Guildford. But I'm sure there is a difference in the accent.
Right.
Because just by that...
Okay, so you're more sensitive to people from Sunderland than they are from people
But that's the way it is all around Britain. I think it's like 15, 20 miles. There is a difference. I can tell it, but London's probably got the same. Cornwall's probably got the same. Essex has probably got the same.
Because Essex, you can tell someone's from Essex. They're Cockney, it's not even Cockney. But it's a bit more...
elongated.
Yeah, softer.
Yeah.
South London is soft, but Essex is a bit more cut out.
Sorry, what did he say? I can't understand what he's saying.
Their language is a bit more thick.
Yeah.
They put on the Cockney.
So you think it's a bit more like it's a bit more
sharp.
Force.
When I was reading about these accents, apparently the way that we speak is very much influenced by television. I mean, that probably isn't anything new, but apparently the Cockney sound that the EastEnders started like propagating, it's completely like enhanced. It's like it's much rougher than anyone in like real life would speak. And then people started imitating that, and now you hear it. So it was really amazing that
So like EastEnders actually had an influence. It made Cockneys want to sound more like the EastEnders on TV.
The Cockney accent existed, and people I think started like messing around or something. Yeah, exactly. They started calling it Mockney. Yeah, but then people like picked it up, and that's how they started speaking. So it's like, oh, okay, that exists, but it came from television, not from live.
Okay, so what is that? Okay, come from. So we've got a point at the back there. Akbal, go and go. I can't hear what you say. Come closer.
Different cultures have interfered with the way the Cockney people used to speak.
Right,
so that's how the youngsters now, they all speak a different way.
Can you do an impression of how young people speak?
No, not at
all. Maybe we can ask Saki.
Right, now, he will. Right, and he'll tell you the truth. Am I right? Exactly. The way Cockney people used to speak is different to the way the youngsters speak today. It's different cultures that have come into it now.
Yeah.
So therefore, the Cockney language is adapted to the way the different cultures are into it. So it's not that we've changed it, it's the way different cultures
So it's actually the influence. Any particular cultures?
EastEnders, there aren't any cultures. What cultures are there on EastEnders?
What cultures are there? Okay, well, I mean, maybe your EastEnders theory isn't quite correct. I don't know.
I think the EastEnders theory is not relevant today.
No, it's not.
And there are West Indian influences in the way people speak today.
So it's like a West Indian flavour.
What happening?
Is that how young people speak? Yeah.
Jamaican accent, I believe, yeah.
Yeah.
A nice Jamaican accent, yeah.
So there is definitely an influence of the Jamaican.
I think there's an influence. It's the environmental influences, and just like Margot said, I think TV shows like just like EastEnders and Dad's Army shows like that. It just influences exactly.
What, Dad's Army?
Yeah.
20 years apart.
Yeah. Generations. Yeah.
Okay. Well.
And American English as well, because apparently there's I don't know which one is English, which one is American, but it's schedule and schedule. So which one was which?
Okay, well, what do you say? Do you say schedule or schedule?
Schedule is American, I suppose.
You say schedule or schedule?
I say either or.
Either or, okay.
Schedule. I mean, I sometimes.
You say either or either. Anyway.
Exactly.
Okay. Anyway, so we're talking about accents here. We're talking about how the accents are evolving. The young people now speak with a Jamaican-tinged Cockney.
We've got a couple of people from different countries here. What about their accents in their countries? Do they vary as much as UK accents?
Okay. Anyone from a different country?
There's one.
Yeah. Is there as much of a difference in your country as there is in Britain?
Listen, if you come from different country, you cannot help the accent you got in there. But it's the kids this time they're talking. Even my own boys.
Yeah.
The way they're talking, like gangsters words, and the way they're talking, they make their own language.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a language exists there. Yeah, they speak English, but whatever they say, things, and I say, my husband used to say, I didn't say more than that. My husband used to say that you need probably talk talk to me when you talk to me proper English. And I was looking at my kids, I say, what he mean talking proper English? You're not talking kids proper English. But it's one grammar and all English.
Okay, so
but the kids born here.
It's a modern English.
No, and they make their own, when they hang around with their own boys, and they make their own language. It be English, but the way they're talking it, it's not, you don't understand.
You can't understand the word they're saying. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to say we've got a new face to say. What's your name?
Natasha.
Natasha, welcome. So we've got Margot, we've got Danny, we've got Loretta. We had Andy, but he's gone. As soon as we started talking about people from other countries, we've got Akbal, we've got Danny, we've got Jed, we've got Asha, and Tanya, and Zaki, and I'm Mikey. And then we're sort of talking about accents and how accents evolve and change. The Cockney accent itself, which is far more, we've discovered, far more appreciated in other parts of the world than in the UK. But it's actually evolving. It's got more of the young people speak with more of a Jamaican tinge for some reason. Okay, and that's where we are right now, but just join in whenever, as and when.
My question was that you're from Somalia. Right. In Somalia, do people have different accents speaking in...
is there like a Mogadishu accent or something like that? How does it work?
It's a Somali people, they have one language, one religion. They are Muslim and they're talking one language, but it's got different dialogue, the way they're speaking it. Yes, south, wherever you come from.
Can you tell what part of Somalia someone's from by hearing their voice?
Huh?
Can you tell which part of Somalia somebody's from by listening to them speaking?
Yeah, you can guess. You can guess it because they're talking. Nobody knows. Nobody can talk the language Somali because it's hard and difficult. Only little people talking it because once the World War happened, some of the bad English took it, some of the bad France took it, some of the bad Italy took it.
Right, so
Indian, we got mixed language.
So there's all these different influences.
But nobody can talk to hear Somali language. When we decided to find what's the real language, it's a little people can talk it there.
Okay. Yeah. Come to you in a second.
I've heard that in Somalia they're into, to a certain extent, female genital mutilation. Is that true? And what do you think about it?
Well, it's a bit of a shift of subject. Does it affect the accent as well?
No. Listen, it's something that was, a long time ago they was thinking something to do with the religion. But now they don't find it's not religion to do it. But it's happened to me, it's happened to everybody long time ago. But now they was thinking something. People, when they know is, people mistaking the religion and culture different story.
Right.
But they was thinking, it's a religion to do because we're not allowed to have a boyfriend. We're not allowed to have sex before marriage. That's what they used to do that.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's all bound into the culture and the laws about what women could do.
After 25 years. They found it's nothing to do with religion. It's a culture. People more than they think about religion and the culture.
Right.
And it can ruin your whole life of sexuality. But I got one daughter and I got 3 boys and I never done my daughter.
Yeah.
It's a painful, it's a horrible.
Yeah.
And I don't want, And something
so it's like more of a thing of the past, is it?
It's a past, but still people doing it because if they found it now, a couple of parents took their girls back home and they do it there. And when they found it there, social work came forth with it. It's a horrible things to do.
Yeah.
And it was horrible things to do. But I cannot blame what happened to me, my parents, because it was my choice. I was young, I was naive, I was thinking everything what they're doing, it was right thing to do.
Yeah.
But I suffer when I have my father, when I have coming here, this country 22, and my doctor see me said to me, have you got fire inside on you? And I say, no. I suffered to have my child. I would have died, me and my child. It's a horrible thing to do.
Okay.
And I have one daughter and I never to do. But now it's against the law. They know it was some stupid things to do and some cultural things to believe. But it's not only Somalia, it's all the Arabic Muslim countries, they do it. But now they know you have a choice when you are girl. If you want to do it, if you don't want to do it, and whatever your family is.
Okay, so we find out about that. So, I mean, I guess we could, I suppose that's more about our cultures and what happens in our culture. Where do we want to go from here? Do we want to find out more about these kind of traditions? Do we want to go back to accents? Is there some connection? Is it about this kind of understanding about where people come from and what they bring with them?
I mean, I don't know if that was cultural or I don't know. I don't quite know what to put it down to. But in Poland, what's happening now? I'm from Poland, and it's really horrifying that something that became just like a stupid fad. And a bit of a provocation now has been accepted as a done thing, to the point of local governments making statements, declarations, and what I'm talking about is making parts of Poland towns LGBT free zones,
right.
which is just absolutely outrageous. And I was,
What does that mean? What does it?
That means, the government is leaning really heavily towards the right, and traditional family values and LGBT ideology,
right,
as it's being perpetuated and spoken about as an LGBT ideology that comes from the rotten West, is perverting our children's minds,
right.
their children's minds, some children's
so
minds.
in a way, it's connected by it's kind of like not necessarily the kind of traditional things that come from your country that maybe is quite... What's that?
Did that come over from Russia? Because I know that I just watched a documentary about how I think how bisexuality or just like parades and in prides and whatever were accepted up until 2014, and then afterwards it got banned more and more.
So like gay pride marches got banned in Russia?
Yeah.
Okay, so there's a kind of backlash against alternative sexualities. We've got a new face to the table. What's your name?
Hello, I'm Evie.
Evie, we've got Natasha, we've got Margot, we've got Danny, we've got Loretta, we've got Andy, Akbal, Danny again, and Jed, and Asha, and Tanya, and Zaki. And there's got another new face here while we're doing this, so that I don't have to do it all over again. What's your name?
Emmett.
Emmett. So that's what we're talking. I guess we sort of moved on from accents to this other element, this more kind of difficult element of like what you bring with you, in terms of the baggage that you bring with you or the history of the culture. There's not that kind of, I guess, not that nice about countries such as this LGBT-free zone.
But it just makes me so completely depressed, not so much on my behalf, but on behalf of so many of my friends who identify as LGBT+. It's just, if I woke up one morning in London and I saw Poles go home, and that would make me feel really fucking bad, and you would be really lovely about it, whatever, but just having that as an official statement, I think I'd be fucking furious and really fucking down. But somehow that is just being done as if we we progress to some kind of, higher state. Just more openness, and suddenly we're like going back in.
So you feel that you've gone backwards?
And today I was crossing the river, and there's a big St. Thomas's hospital. It's a fucking hospital, but it had a flag, LGBT flag, and it's got nothing to do with anything, but just it's so important just to have that flying there, so that people go like, apropos of nothing, just like, by the way, it's cool. Like basically just do your thing.
I personally think we need to promote homosexuality, because as an antinatalist, someone who opposes procreation, it's the heterosexuals.
To reduce the population.
It's the heterosexuals that are the problem, which is why I admit that I am a heterophobe. I'm frightened of heterosexuals, because they are the ones that are having children accidentally, so many of them, as opposed to the gays. Who never in the history of mankind has a gay couple gone out on a Friday night, got drunk and accidentally had children, as opposed to heterosexuals, which is why so many of us are even here.
Let me go to Akbal.
Sorry, that kind of... So my thing is, there are... the whole LGBT movement seems to be supported quite a lot by large corporations, and this is one of the things that I don't know whether this is maybe a backlash to the globalization or something like this, because I've got a rainbow thing from American Express on my window.
Yeah.
And
so what's the point you're making here, Akbar?
I don't know, but if a big corporation like American Express or Nike or whatever is supportive of the LGBT community, mostly because they want to sell stuff to them, right? That makes sense. And there's loads of them. You don't want to be out of that marketplace. I don't understand why Polish towns would also not want to be in that marketplace.
Is it because
it makes no sense?
Because they don't take American Express, maybe?
Maybe it's just business.
Yeah.
I think there's the trying to connect what you're saying there. The idea of traditional values, which still exists in England, I can't speak about other countries, is very, very strong. And for some reason, that anti-corporate thing, it's seen as like this isn't us. It's the hatred of liberals, the liberal idea, and all the homosexual stuff, all that sort of stuff, has been seen as liberal permissiveness. And what you're saying there, it's also the hatred of they're all in it against us. All those liberals are in it against us, the real people.
Right.
And I see that definitely in England, where I'm from, definitely.
So there's
Not
a kind
so much in London,
there is an anti-corporate thing, anything that's associated with liberals.
It used to be fragmented. But since the internet, all people of every persuasion have started talking to each other and realizing there's more of people like me than the thought. So people like that who hate the liberals and have learned to talk to each other and have decided that it's all part of the same. I don't want to use the C word, the conspiracy word.
But they feel conspired against.
Yeah, they think that it's all above them and all of that sort of stuff, accepting homosexuality, accepting corporatism, going to coffee bars and talking about pretentious stuff. They think it's all sort of a thing against them. And it's groundless. But millions of people are starting to believe it.
So it's part of this whole kind of, in a way, paranoia, let's say, general. But I'll come to you in a second, Danny, but I just want to go to Natasha.
Oh, hi. I guess I was thinking that I don't feel like, I mean, that there is one LGBT movement or kind of thing, but I do feel like in the UK, particularly since there was a change in law about civil partnerships, that there's been a resulting social change that gay people it's just been much more accepted. It's just like there's like a general thing, it's okay. And so I feel like after that, then the brands have jumped in and gone like, okay, now the rest of society is okay with this. We're going to try and make some money out of it. We're going to jump on the bandwagon, look cool. And like I'm gay and I don't really appreciate it very much. And like there's like there's a bit of a backlash against like say commercialisation of Pride, which was like a community event, and suddenly it's a different thing now. And then I kind of wonder in Poland if it's about religion, if it's kind of a society where that change hasn't happened, and that the thought that it might is threatening to a kind of religious.
But I mean, I guess going back to Jed's point, is everybody brought along with this change? Because there this group of people that feel that they're not part of this changing world?
I guess I don't like. It's probably, but then also I kind of feel like the kind of acceptance of like gay people is quite broad. There's a lot of people who are just like, it's not a big deal anymore.
It's quite normal now. Yeah. Okay, let me bring in Emmett.
I just think that we've got this thing LGBTQIE with question mark, etc. This just seems like a really big blurring of it, and the whole point about blurring something is it gets rid of all the demands you're originally making, because lesbian, gay, bisexual was the original thing, and this was about people being penalised for who they choose, consenting adults choosing to do things intimately with each other. Now in this country, because apparently Queen Victoria didn't believe that had happened, women were never penalised, but men were. Until not very long ago, the age of consent was totally different for men with other men than it was for people, either women with each other or men with women. And all the other bits have been stuck on the end, really to confuse the matter and to stop those original things, because it's as though, we've already got those things. But we haven't got those things yet. We need to make sure that we have those things. These things like in Poland now, the things that people should be able to do whatever they want with another consenting adult, irrespective of whatever the sex they happen to be. Now, all these other things like T and Q and stuff, these are about your own personal identity with yourself. They've got nothing to do with what you're doing with another person. I'm saying that we should separate those things completely. They're really confusing the matters, and are stopping us from getting the original LGB things really solidly in, and make sure that they are not just in Britain. Obviously, I'm a European Union citizen, even though Britain's left European Union, I'm still European Union citizen. Yeah. The problem in the European Union, we have a situation where all the other states can say, wait, you are not you're not allowed to be in the European Union because you're not following the European Convention on Human Rights. At the moment, we have two fascist states in the European Union. We have Poland and we have Hungary. Because they stand up for each other, they're each able to get away with these fascist moves and stop making sure that we actually stand up for the rights of LGBT people, of whoever. Everyone is fundamentally bisexual. Every act can be heterosexual, can be homosexual. But basically, we need to make sure that those rights are really fought for and achieved. Okay. And whatever people choose to identify is a totally different thing entirely.
Too many points there. Too many. Just throw in 1 point at a time, because now I've got like 10 points to deal with. Let me just sum this up. Like you want it just to be LGB, lesbian, gay, bisexual. I'm just going to leave it at that. Danny, I'll come to you in a second.
See, I like to defend the heterosexual man here, right?
Yeah.
We're being penalised.
I'm glad we've got that down. Yeah. Okay, that's been noted.
Well, I'm heterosexual. I'm a sexual. I don't give a fuck. But right? No, it's not who you come across. It's not, because everyone's so keen to label themselves nowadays. Label themselves as heterosexual, label themselves as bisexual, label themselves as gay. Drop the labels. We're all just ourselves. Because we don't have to label ourselves, really. Because, labelling yourself give people an idea of you. Don't be what you want to be, but, the heterosexual man ain't all bad. I'm heterosexual. I don't go around condemning people. Right. It's just individuals that you meet across life.
Do you think there's something about this LGBT thing? Yeah.
I think your point, which I didn't realize, that there's about consent. Consent is different if the sexual interaction is between the same sex or different sex, or if it's between male or female. Is that right? Or?
I think it used to be like that, but now it's been changed.
No, but I think that's a very valid point, and I also think it's really interesting that you want to separate the sexual orientation from the sexual identity. Because because I also think that this whole brings in a completely new dimension as well. Because as you said, I've never really thought about it like this, but I thought it was a really good point. That like the sexual orientation is towards somebody else, and the sexual identification is
about you,
about yourself. So okay. I think that's really interesting, and for this train of thought, I think it should be different things. As well. I mean, obviously, everybody can...
Doesn't that just mean more letters? And I think Emmett's trying to reduce the number of letters. We've got LGBTQI plus question mark.
I think if you bring it to one nominator, you should just bring it all down to feminism, because that's what feminism means, is that everybody has the same...
So you think this is all feminism, basically? Just
I think if you bring it down to one nominator, it should be feminism.
Why feminism?
Because feminism is not as many people think or look down at it. It's about it's not about women should have more rights. It's about everybody should have the same rights, no matter if you're male or female. Yeah. But you're just equal rights for whatever you are. And I think this would, you could just like maybe save on a couple of letters or
okay, so you could save letters by just calling it gender equality, and it's all part of feminism.
Or equality.
We've got a new face at the table. I'm going to come to you in a second, Asha, but Evie's not said anything yet. I'm not discriminating against you. But we've got a new face at the table. What's your name?
Hello, I'm Hortense.
Hortense, we've got Emmett, we've got Natasha, we've got Margot, we've got Loretta, Andy Akbal, Danny, we've got Jed, we've got Asha, we've got Tanya and Zaki and Evie. I'm Mikey. And Evie, you've got a point.
I was just going to say isn't there a famous cartoon which is about between equality and equity? And equity is where everyone is they're all trying to look over a fence, but they're different heights. And with equality, they all have the same height box. But with equity, they all have different heights boxes, but they can all look over the fence.
Okay, so what you're saying, equity?
Is feminism
it a bit more now with equity?
Is feminism about equal rights, or is it about creating equity in society?
So you're saying someone like Rick, who's tall, should have a smaller box.
A small box.
And someone such as Tanya, should have a bigger box. Or yeah, Rick should have a hole, basically, to stand in. Okay, so that, Asha, let me come to you. You've not said anything for a while.
No, listen. Everybody they want it, yeah? Everybody got their own choices, yeah?
Yeah.
I know a long time ago it was hard to come out you are gay. You scaring your job or your career and your family and everything is a yeah. But when you have a family, you are gay and you know you are gay, but you're getting married to hiding these gay things, yeah?
Yeah.
And you have a kids. You bring the world in the kids, yeah?
Yeah.
It's like...
What are you saying?
It's you be... Why is everything is your choice and be private choice? Why you going a gay man is going married having a hiding who they are? And it's a sad thing to do that. It's a sad. You're hiding who you are. You should be...
So people should just be who they are.
Who you are. But you having a kids and woman marry her, what? Now I know somebody now 54 and married, what, 35 years, have a kids and wife. Now he come out, I'm gay.
Right, okay, so you think it's a bit late in the day?
It's a bit late, but if you're gay and you have already, you put yourself under responsibility, kids and wife, just shut your mouth and deal whatever you deal with it.
Once you got married and had kids, it's a bit late.
Yeah, I'm feeling sorry for them. You should be, everybody...
For who? The kids or the...
The kids and the wife and the man, whether gay, whatever, woman, the gay, yeah? It's a sad.
Okay.
Yeah, but it shouldn't be broadcasting, oh, I'm gay, or I'm straight,
So
or
you
I
think
like
it's
man and
a
woman.
bit late at that point?
It's a bit late.
Are you talking about the guy that said that it was gay recently?
In the TV.
Schofield,
TV star,
yeah, Phillip Schofield, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so... Okay,
yeah,
you got a view on this, Saki?
So yeah, I heard out recently about the whole Phillip Schofield thing. I heard 27 years he was married. Then he told his wife.
Yeah.
His wife was devastated, yeah, but then he was like, "I'm my own man," you know. He expressed himself. I guess it was good for him, but I figured it's a bit late, yeah.
But I mean, is it a recent thing? Do people change? What's going on there? Hang on a second, I'm going to come to...
Mikey, look, people are all coming out now. The hardest thing to come out as is a Labour supporter.
Okay.
It says something about the society, the fact that it's very easy for a heterosexual person to say I'm heterosexual at the age of 12.
Yeah.
But the fact that Phillip Schofield, who's in his 50s now, took so long to understand that. To understand that when you're gay, it's you have to have that barrier, that cushion where you feel like it's comfortable for you to come out. It takes time, and that cushion is the society you live in and the prejudices of it, and you have to fight against it. Whereas if you're heterosexual, it's just, oh well, I'll just say it when I'm 11 because I am. But some societies, obviously, you have some societies that are so strict or so right wing or whatever you want that gay people have never been able to come out and die without ever admitting it. And that Britain used to be like that in the Victorian period. Britain was like that. It's not anymore. So it's a sign of how a person comes out as homosexual is a sign of the I would say the civilized aspect of their society.
Okay, so we're getting more civilized because the age is going down when
Because
people...
we're all equal.
Yeah, okay, we're all equal, but are we equitable? And I'll come to you in a second.
On the subject of Phillip Schofield, I've heard from somebody who knows them that apparently the problem with that was not that he just suddenly thought, I can't take it anymore, I must come out. It was more like somebody threatened him, they're gonna like expose him in public.
Right.
And his wife and him, they had a perfectly functional relationship.
Did
they
she
knew
know?
about each other. I mean, look, I'm not some kind of paparazzi, I
So
have no
it was
idea.
it was-
But it has been, you know, I think it's more
But why
cynical
could he not be more
than it
public
actually...
about it when he was younger?
I really don't know. It's hard to speak for him. Maybe, well, when he was, let's say, whatever, 20, maybe it wasn't as acceptable, and he had a career on television. How many gay role models were there? Probably not very many, if any, open gay role models.
Tanya, I'll go to you, but I've got to spin around this way, sorry.
The whole thing about coming out, not coming out with 50, with 12 or whatever, I think when you think about the whole thing about what responsibility you have, it's a bit hypocritical when you know that at least every other marriage gets divorced anyway.
Yeah.
So I mean, if you think about you swore your vows at the age of 25, 30, whatever, you will be spending the rest of your life together with somebody, and that's the contract that you do. And I do understand that there are cultures and that there are people that go and stand by this vow, but it's certainly not 100% anymore. So when you decide in like 10 years, 5 years, 2 years down the line that you cannot think of being together with this person anymore for whatever reason it is, maybe because you're not sexually attracted, maybe because you don't like to be beaten up, maybe you don't like so many things about that other person. You might have dependents, you might not have them, but at some point I think you need to protect yourself. And if it's for what Margot said, that somebody else might be shaming them in public or whatever it
So
is.
it's about self-protection.
I think everybody has the right for their lives, if it's, sexual orientation, non-sexual orientation, whatever. But I don't think that just because one thing was said at one point, I think you're always allowed to change your mind.
So you can
as well.
change. You've got you've always got the right to change. We've got a new face at the table. What's your name? That's
Ian.
Ian. I'm not going to do the round of names because everyone knows everyone now. But there was a point from Evie.
Oh, I was just wondering with the Phillip Schofield thing, whether it's like, maybe it was a shame that someone was going to be like, okay, we're going to out you, so you have to out yourself. Because maybe quite a lot of couples have get to a point where they have functional, happy relationships where then maybe they're both occasionally have affairs with other people, but it still works.
Okay, so
is that so bad? But it only works if you're in a diplomatic agreement where everyone knows but nobody talks about it.
Okay, so I mean the fact that no one talks about it, is that important, or would it be better if people did talk about it and it was a bit more open?
Maybe people should. No, it's a bit boring to say respect people's privacy. I feel like that's sitting on the fence a bit. But I think maybe in that case it was sad.
So it can work in different ways. It doesn't have to be this very kind of expected husband and wife together. I'm going to come to you in a second, Asha, but I want to come to Emmett.
It's a bit like dynastic marriages in the Middle Ages, when you'd have a couple would come together because bringing together the two houses, it's about bringing forth progeny who would be the heirs to those estates, and that's very different from what you do for love.
Is that what happened with Phillip Schofield?
I've got no idea. What Queen Elizabeth said, I will not make windows into men's souls.
ITV coming together?
I'm not sure, but I don't know if his wife thought that he loved her and he got the hots for her, then it was a bit of a dodgy thing to do. But if she was aware of it, then whatever works for whatever floats their boats. But one thing about Phillip Schofield though was pretty despicable was in the week before the election when he had Jeremy Corbyn on, he was coming out with all this fascist propaganda, and then he had Boris Johnson on, and he was just flirting with him the whole time, trying to take selfies. That was illegal, and it's against the law and broadcasting regulations in this country.
Okay.
He shouldn't be allowed on TV, basically.
Okay, so Phillip Schofield, you've got little respect for him because
he breaks the law and
because of his bipartisan treatment of the different elections. Partisan treatment. Okay, let me come to Asha. She wants some right.
Listen, he is a good man. He have 27 years his wife and his kids, yeah? Whatever his situation is, maybe she knew it, what he's doing there. But if he's come out this time and he's saying, I'm gay, I'm happy for him. But he shouldn't, but it's the way she's saying that, I think it's somebody black. If you keep it all this year is not saying I'm gay, why are you saying now?
Okay, well I think it sounds like it might
Somebody see something.
Maybe someone got cross with him about his partisanship, was it you, Emmett?
See, Mikey.
Yeah.
See, Mikey, the world has progressed, really.
Yeah.
Everything's so advanced now that everything is acceptable. Right? So now everyone's all on the same level. White, black, gay, lesbian, straight. No matter what you are, everything's accepted. So people look in new ways to be offended.
Okay, so it's people just looking to get offended.
Yeah, looking.
About something.
Adding labels and titles. Stop labelling yourself.
Yeah.
Stop titling yourself and just get on with life.
Do you get offended about anything?
No, not really. I don't care. I just get on with life.
Okay.
Yeah. Actually, I do get offended by the price of McDonald's going up every time I'm going in there.
Okay.
And that.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
But maybe the reason, Danny, but maybe the reason why you're not being offended is because there's not much that you can be offended about, because you're not ethnic minority, you don't live in another country, you're not a sexual minority, you don't have to. I mean, Irish, fair enough. But as a white bloke, I think there's a lot of privileges that come with that you don't maybe see.
Do you get offended about anything, Margot?
I wasn't for ages, and it's been pointed out to me in a subtle way. There are some things about me that aren't, maybe the norm, maybe
like what?
Like my accent, maybe where I'm from, maybe, how I do things, because I haven't received, education a particular way, but I'm doing a job now that requires me to have certain skills, but I didn't go to university. I didn't go and work in my dad's company to get that. I had to figure it out for myself. I'm not saying therefore I deserve pity. I'm just saying there are different routes into it, but I think people get impatient with people who take a little bit longer to work stuff out.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay, so where are we going to go with this? Yeah. Hang on, let me just come to Ian because he's not said anything yet.
Yeah, I just want to say that about sexuality. I think that sexuality is a line, and that people are placed somewhere on that line. When it comes to going for jobs, if they, sexuality, I always prefer not to say, because I don't believe that it's going to impact on my job what I do with my partner in bed.
Yeah.
So as far as I'm concerned, that's irrelevant. It's just them ticking another box that their company is representing the community as a whole, but it has no impact on. And I think, life is full of discrepancies when it comes to class, sexuality, colour. And as the only thing I can claim to be that might not be the norm is I'm working class.
Yeah.
I went to university.
Is that the minority?
I don't know. Not in my class anyway. But I went to university and I was immediately labelled a non-traditional student.
Right.
And I was in situations with lots of friends. I went to Shoreditch Comprehensive School, which has since closed down. And I found that most of my group of friends had been to private schools and grammar schools.
Right.
And once I found that out, I felt quite isolated. I became a professional Cockney,
Right, okay.
God bless you, Governor.
We were talking about that earlier
But
on.
not having done A-levels as well, the attitude of the lecturers there was that, you've done this in your A-levels, and it'd be me standing up and saying, well, I haven't done any A-levels, can you explain it to me? And the strange looks I would get from people because, you haven't done A-levels, and you're at university. What's going on there? So
right.
yeah.
So there's a lot of when we just turn up at a place. There's a lot of expectations that people have about us. It's about our accent, about the way we look, about where we come from, the clothes we wear, all these things.
Can I just say something about privileges? I've never had any privilege in my life. All what I've been through is I've fought for myself. I've got to where I've got to through sheer determination, progress. Nothing's never been given to me on a plate, so it doesn't matter if I'm ethnic minority or not. I'm a white man and I still had to fight for where I am today. And I've been through a lot of battles in my life. Many, but I've never had nothing ever handed to me on a plate. I've fought for.
Okay, so
and worked for.
You've had no privileges. I'm going to come to Tanya. I'll come to you in a second, Emmett.
I think the whole white man stereotype is also a bit old and a bit like, it bores me a bit, to be honest, because I just find, as you were saying, I'm white, I'm a female. Like females, even though we're overrepresented in terms of numbers, it's still there's so much inequality for females, and it's just still, you would have all of sorts of protection. You couldn't make any bad comments about skin color, about whatever, but it's still when you just think of small subtleties. For example, when I read something on Facebook about a guidance book for the 1950s housewife, like what you should do: make up your hair, feel fresh when your husband comes home. Don't let him know when you've got your monthly problems. Like all of these things. And people, my friends and everybody, would laugh and just like yeah, ha ha ha. If you would say anything similar about how what are the black dolls called? Hoggleboggle. What are they called? What? Gollywogs. If you would make any sort of joke like this, it would be highly offensive.
Right.
But even nowadays, where you would just have something like S degrading for females, it's just complete. It's still so funny.
Okay.
You know, it's
I mean,
just
is it better
so
to
funny.
be offended or to make it a bit funny?
Well, I don't know if it. I mean, I think it's a bit funny, but then I also find making fun of everybody is funny. So it's just like, you know, so I just like feel like I'll get the chip off your shoulder a little bit. So if I can't say anything about blacks or like all of the whole thing about the black facing, you know, how bad that is. When I just like, the other day I was home at my family, we were digging out all costumes and we were all going as Chinese people. I was like, oh, you couldn't do that now. No, exactly, oh,
Yeah.
exactly. And
Okay.
I did it for me,
have we got-
in the 1980s Germany, we're all going as cowboys, as Chinese, as whatever, you know.
Okay.
So it's just like it is just something that is, and then none of us means any bad, and that's what I'm just saying.
Okay, I mean, have we got a bit too sensitive now? I'm going to come to you in a second, but Zaki, you were saying...
Yeah, but I'm saying we most of us, we do make fun of people, but, you know, we just take it with a grain of salt. Obviously, most of us have developed that, you know, that thick skin, that thick shell, so that's it.
Yeah.
But, you know, we should always take care of the insults, because it does get that one step too far.
So it's about
everyone has that line.
being sensitive in a way and the context in which you're doing it. Let me come to you a second there, Evie. One point.
Yeah, just what Danny said about privilege, because I didn't really get the whole thing until the whole Me Too movement came out. And then the whole thing about privilege is that if you're in receipt of privilege, you're completely oblivious to it. As far as you know, everyone gets the same things that you have. You don't know that other people
you
don't.
only understand
So
privilege
the
when you're
idea that you
outside
can
of it.
walk down the road and not get pulled over by the police, that's white privilege. Now, you just assume that everyone gets that, but actually some people don't. They get pulled over for no reason whatsoever, just other than the colour of their skin or their names, if they've got a Muslim name. The same about being able to be out and not get sexually assaulted, not get someone groping you inappropriately. That's just something you just think that everyone's got that. Actually, it's not true. Half the population's got to put up with that all the time. They don't have to put up with it, but that's the daily reality they face. The nature of privilege is not that you're getting this amazing thing, but just that the normal thing of being treated with respect is something that a lot of people cannot take for granted.
Okay, so privilege is when you take it for granted, therefore you don't realise that you've got that privilege. Let me come to Evie then, Akbar.
You should always punch up, not down when you're making jokes. So always make fun of the people above you, not the people below you.
Right.
And I think if you can tell, if you watch
That's
comedy
why
on
this
TV.
chair is very, very low, so I can go, yeah.
What was the other one? I was very quick. I can't remember it now.
I'll come back to you in a second. Let's go to Akbar. To be honest, only 1 point at a time is the best way to do Talkaoke. Okay, we'll come to you in a second, but Oton, Susie.
Hi, no, about the privileges. I think it's a whole life work to try to deconstruct it, and everybody. I mean, I feel like if some people understand their privileges and can deconstruct it without undermining themselves, it's quite valuable morally and.
But it's a lifetime's work, basically.
Yeah, it's an effort.
Yeah.
Forever.
Okay, so we don't really understand our privilege until we can get outside of it.
I think this. I mean, I see this whole white privilege thing as being a little bit of an American import, rather. Because in the UK, I'm not white, but I feel like I'm fairly privileged.
I thought you were white.
I feel like I'm fairly privileged.
Yeah.
I also feel that I'm more privileged. I think there's more of a class privilege in this country as opposed to a racial white black type of privilege.
Do you ever feel like as a non-white person that you actually get discriminated against at all?
Not really. No, but then again, I think it's down to class.
Right.
And
so it's more about the accent, is it?
Yeah, I suspect it has an awful lot to do with accent. I also think it's to do with where are you in your life and how were you brought up. If you were brought up thinking that you're quite important, then you're going to think you're quite important, regardless of what race you are or what your, other physical attributes are.
Well, I feel everyone around the table is quite important.
Well, there's some people might think that they're more important.
Okay. Now talking about this, trying to redress the balance. Maybe it's time for me as a pale male, stale white man of privilege to get out of the table and just to get somebody else in the table That's not quite so pale, male, and stale.
White man of privilege. He'll speak.
Privilege. I reckon privilege.
So is there anyone, while I go for a pee, is there anyone that wants to go in the middle of the table? Yeah, okay, so Hortense is going to go in. So there is a little bit of an, Emmett, you're in the way there. So if you could just move back, I'm going to spin out. And we're going to have a new face in the middle of the table. And we're going to try and diffuse it, just sit on this bit and spin around.